Thank you very much, Angela. Lovely to speak to you. Now, they've been part of our lives for over 30 years, but do you know how many days you've got left to spend a £1 coin?
I do.
How many?
13.
Is the right
the
answer.
Old £1 coins.
Yes, so if you've got some knocking around somewhere, it's worth a dig about to see if there are any left, because there are 13 days left to spend them, and then they are no longer legal tender.
And there's a lot left. Tell us why it's all changed. Breakfast Tin Muffet has got unique access to the Royal Mint for us this morning. Morning.
Yeah, good morning to you. Suited and booted, we're in a very special part of the Royal Mint. It is where all coins are melted down, all the old coins which are no longer part of the circulation. And look at this, £55,000 worth per tub of old round pounds, because as you say, only 13 days left to spend them. It's been a huge changeover to the new pound coin which was introduced in March. So how have things been going as the furnaces are just fired up before another load of pound coins gets poured in? Let's have a look and find out how that transition has been taking place. All change again. When the new pound coin was introduced in March, this company had to adapt 4,000 vending machines. For 7 months, both coins have been accepted, but not for much longer.
What we've now got to do is we've got to program them so that they'll just take the new coins and we'll reject the old ones. Realistically, I don't think the Royal Mint realise how big a job and how time-consuming this would be.
So how much has this changeover cost your business?
It's cost us personally over £250,000.
After 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, October the 15th, businesses will no longer be obliged to accept the old pound coin. It'll cease being legal tender, and the round pounds role in our economy will be over. Will you miss the old pound coins?
Yes, we'll miss them. I mean, something has been around for quite some time.
They're easy to find in your purse. You kind of know the shape of them and you just dive in and get one.
The new ones tend to be a bit shiny, and I've got to keep looking at them and think whether what they are.
The Royal Mint and the Treasury say the introduction of the new pound coin has generally gone well. They say any short-term costs to businesses will be outweighed by long-term benefits. The new coin is much harder to forge. But over the summer, an AA survey found that a fifth of UK councils hadn't converted all their parking ticket machines to accept the new pound, as Derek found out.
Went to put the money in the machine, wouldn't take it. I got a parking ticket.
You had the wrong pound coin, as far as they were concerned.
Yeah.
How much was the fine?
£70.
More councils have now carried out the upgrades, but some ticket machines remain unable to take the new pound.
The value of the coin is directly proportionate to the scarcity.
You'll still be able to change old pounds at the bank, but some might be worth keeping instead.
In 2011, there was a series of round pound coins that were released, each one representing a capital city of the United Kingdom. The Edinburgh City pound coin is the most scarce.
Only around 900,000 of these were minted. Often hundreds of millions of coins are created when a new design is launched.
Cardiff and the London coin as well, they all have low mintage figures.
Antiques Roadshow moment, what might this be worth?
So at present on auction sites, these are selling for between about £12 and £16. But once the pound coin is demonetised, we probably expect this to be about £30 and £40.
So before you spend your last round pounds, they might be worth a second glance. So yes, worth checking your change before you get rid of them. But hey, look at this, another tub, £55,000 worth of old pound coins being melted down. That metal will then be used to create the new ones. Scott, you're the technical director on the launch of the new pound coin. How's it been going as far as you're concerned?
It's been a really successful project. Ever since the Chancellor announced the new coin way back in 2014, it's been a huge effort to get, a product that goes to every single person in the country out so smoothly. It's been really good.
But there is still £500 million worth of them out there. I mean, 13 days to go, that's not long, is it?
It's not long, but to put it into context, we've already pulled in 1.2 billion round pounds. And that's why we really ask the public, get your hands down the side of the sofa, look in those piggy banks and get those last pounds in.
Okay, Scott, thanks very much, Dave. We'll talk more a little later, but it's a really interesting insight, isn't it, to how coins are actually melted down. As I say, £55,000, if you ever wonder what it looks like, there it is, £110,000 altogether. It's quite something. And a little later on, we'll be finding out how exactly those coins are melted and turned eventually into the new pound coins.
It's amazing. Isn't it?
It'd be a great day to wander around the Royal Mint, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. Find your round pounds, is what he said.
Do you remember when we had the first... Thank you, sorry, Tim. Yes, thank you, Tim, and your massive helmet thing.
Thank you.
Do you remember when we had the first new pound coin?
Yes,
I dropped it down the back of the sofa there.
Yes.
Well, we did find it, though, didn't we?
Yes,
so
we did find it.
There's no point looking down there, and you've checked the entire sofa for old pound coins.
It's not a very good sofa for hiding pound
Charlie's always got loose change in his pocket. There must be some over here
I'm
somewhere.
always buying him coffee.
Oh, really? Okay. Right, I like that bit of insight. Let's get some news, some travel and some weather. Wherever you're watching, we'll see you with the headlines at 8 o'clock.
For over 30 years, but you have just 13 days left to find and then spend any old pound coins you might be lining your purses, your pockets, I don't know. Steph says she's got them on the top of her,
yes.
I don't know, somewhere in the kitchen or something.
I've definitely got some in the golf bag knocking about. Breakfast Tim Muffet is at the Royal Mint for us today, hopefully with his... Where's your headwear? I need to see this helmet again.
Yeah, it's pretty spectacular, isn't it? £55,000 worth of old pound coins in this tub. And these ones will soon be going the way of those ones over there. You can see them being poured into the furnace. Those pound coins are no more. And there are only 13 days left for you to spend any old round pounds you might have before they cease to be legal tender. Let's have a quick chat to Scott, because you've been the technical director, haven't you, on the introduction of the new pound coin.
Yes.
How's it been going, do you think?
It's been a terrific project. It's been a long project ever since the Chancellor announced new coin back in 2014. It's been a massive team effort to manage to get a product into every single pocket until around the country.
Now, there are still, it is thought, 500 million round pounds out there. Now, with 13 days left, I mean, that's a lot of money, isn't it, which hasn't been handed in?
It is a lot of money, but to put it into context, we've already withdrawn 1.2 billion of the round pounds. So that's why we really ask for those last, it sounds funny, you know, a few million, but for those last few million, get your hands down the side of the sofa, look in your piggy banks, and get those coins spent.
Now, there are some businesses, we've spoken to vending machine company operators, who have had difficulties, or it's been expensive for them to make the transition. Do you think the cost is worthwhile?
Absolutely. I mean, we don't take this decision lightly. The Treasury weighs up all the input from the vending industry and all the stakeholders before making such a monumentous change.
Now, it was estimated there were 3% of old pounds were forgeries, weren't there? This is the new pound coin here. We're very familiar with it now. Why is this so much more difficult to forge?
This is, you know, the next generation of coin. It's absolutely packed with security features. Some of them are overt, you can see them, so the shape, it's made of two metals, and also the latent feature that you see on there. But there's also covert features in there, so only vending machines and special sorting equipment will be able to pick those features up.
It's really interesting this morning. We've seen the coins, tubs of coins being poured in. They are then melted down, and what you get from that is I've got this here. This is the the metals in it, and this is then used to create the new pounds. How does that process work?
Absolutely. We cast the metal and we make it into long strips of metal. We then punch out the discs from that metal before they go through to what we call the coin press room, where we put the heads and tails that the public are familiar with, and we stamp them into those discs.
And there's about, what's it, 40 pound coins per second being produced, I guess.
Absolutely. On a single press, we're can strike between 10 and 15 coins every second. So that means we're churning out about 3 million coins every day.
Wow, it is quite something, isn't it? And as you say, these ones here, you're getting through about 30 of these caskets per day. That's about 1.9 million pounds worth of money being melted. It's extraordinary, isn't it?
It is extraordinary, but you know, there's a lot of metal. The old pound coins totaled about 14,000 tonnes worth of metal, so it was very important for us to use that efficiently and in an environmentally friendly way.
Scott, thanks ever so much. It's been really interesting, thank you. It's very rare to have this access to this part of the mint. Often you see the part where they produce the coins, but not so often do you see the part where they melt coins down. And this is the only place where you are legally allowed to do that. So, yep, 13 days to spend these pound coins. You could then maybe donate them, or you could do it to charity before that point if you wanted to. You will still be able to hand them in to banks if you do find them, but you are encouraged to decide what you're going to do with them before then. Otherwise, well, they will be going the way of these ones here. They're going to be melted down, as you can see there. 1200 degrees centigrade is the temperature, so 1200 degrees Celsius, should I say, is the temperature needed to melt them down.
Tim, can I just ask, I mean, it's really rare to get camera access to the Royal Mint. What is security like there?
very tight, and here's an interesting thing. The Royal Mint is actually a cashless workplace, so the workers aren't allowed to use cash because obviously we will be searched when we go out, so they actually have vending machine cards. So the Royal Mint of all places is actually a cashless place to work, security guards keeping a very close eye on you.
Well, I mean, with all that money at your feet, just make sure they don't put the wrong lot in. That would be really awful, wouldn't it? Tim, thank you very much indeed.
Do you remember Spaceballs with Dark Helmet, Rick Moranis' character?
No.
Reminds me a little bit of that.
Sorry.
Okay, just me then. I'm sure somebody appreciates that.
I'm sure they do.
Now, the Country Rockers, Lady Antebellum, will be here on the sofa.